Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great week. This is going to be some late night thoughts and ramblings from me, so I apologize for stuttering or anything of the sort. But I cannot sleep, and I figured no better way to pass the time than to talk about DC and some of their animated projects, because I'm a DC girl at heart, but they just have not done right by the fans in quite some time. And one of the ways that this has been done in recent years is with WB force feeding us the Suicide Squad and telling us, it tastes so yummy. And we tell them no. Like, this consistently tastes like garbage, and it's actually starting to taste a little sour. How about we stop? And it's 2024 and we haven't stopped. And I don't really know what it's going to take. But my feelings about this came about really a month ago. I mean, it's been there, but the release of Suicide Squad Isekai really put those feelings to the top of the top, because the premise of the show really bothered me, that it involved the Suicide Squad. And I've seen the first 2 episodes. I don't think I'm going to see the third. If I do, it's going to be my last episode. I'm not even going to hold you. My feelings on all of this were exacerbated 2 weeks later when DC dropped the teaser trailer for Batman versus the Yakuza League. So, immediately I saw the title and I rolled my eyes. Yet another animated film based around Batman in a different time period. Oh my God. So revolutionary. Even worse so, it's seemingly a continuation of Batman Ninja. He's in feudal Japan. I'm pretty sure it's the same artwork, same bats. Batman Ninja is one of my least favorite DC animated projects of all time. Like, I find that film utterly awful. So it was just not on good footing for me. Not a great foundation. He's going to a different realm to quote unquote fight the Yakuza League, or the Justice League of that realm, which I guarantee you they're going to fight for 10 minutes max. And then they're going to work together for the rest of the movie, right? So they're going to do all of that. And I came from the teaser trailer feeling so bleh, because it's so uninspired. The premise is so unoriginal. WB, you had a show come out 2 weeks prior with the same premise. And when I say the same premise, they couldn't even be bothered to do a different type of isekai. So from my research, there are 4 types. There's the portal/gate where our characters go into another realm. There's the one where the other realm comes to our world. The third one is when they merge. And I think the 4th one is when they're mirrored. But don't quote me on that. I'll put the 4th one on screen because I can't remember that one outright. But both this movie and the Suicide Squad anime use the one where there's a portal gate and they go into a different realm. I'm like, are you serious? So I feel like they're going to try and connect these two. There's going to be something at the end of the Batman movie, or maybe even the show, which there's a portal that opens up and it shows Harley Quinn fighting, and or they see a feudal Batman. And I'm just like, are we serious right now? And to me, it just feels like WB trying to jump on the anime craze, and it's not genuine. Nothing about it is genuine. It's so money hungry. It's so cheap. Like, when they did Batman Shanghai, and this was years ago when that small project came out, that felt genuine. Even something like Catwoman Hunted, while I don't think it was executed well, I think, the attempt to place Catwoman outside of her comfort zone as far as her typical art style and animation style, placing her in this anime-esque world as well as the characters around her, I felt that attempt to be genuine, but it wasn't executed well. But these 2 projects, no. This is WB trying to jump on a craze with the wrong set of characters. You're putting the Suicide Squad in an environment that makes no sense. And this is a pattern of behavior with them. It really is. And I look at this show and I'm like, what are we doing here? Because the realm that the Suicide Squad go into in this anime is magic based through and through, which cannot work when more than half of your team is not superpowered. When you decide to stick with the same roster of characters since 2016, which is insane to think about, because the Suicide Squad of all groups should have a rotating roster. The way that Teen Titans has a rotating roster is the way that Suicide Squad should have a rotating roster. Hello? Like, it's ridiculous to me that from 2016 till now, in most mainstream iterations, it's been the same people. Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, maybe Captain Boomerang. It's the same people. And I don't understand how you place them in this magical world and you expect it to make sense. In the second episode, we find out that their abilities are enhanced while they're in this realm. And that is something you can only properly convey with Clayface and King Shark, as these are altered individuals. These are super powered individuals where they fit in this environment. Harley Quinn does not fit. Deadshot does not fit. Peacemaker does not fit. Just the fact that Peacemaker is even in this show is telling me that they are based off of the DCEU iterations, which are some of the worst iterations of these characters. So great thinking, WB, right? But it's like we get to a point where you have to distort these characters or drastically change things about them, or as far as, their power set, so you can make it make sense in the environment, instead of just understanding that maybe this doesn't work, maybe they don't fit. You put all this time and money into pushing the Suicide Squad on us again, instead of pushing Zatanna, instead of pushing Solomon Grundy or Swamp Thing, or even Constantine with other people, because I don't think he works alone, pushing Etrigan. Why wouldn't you push these people in this type of environment, in a magic-based environment? Or if you're going to do an isekai, push a different group of characters. Push Teen Titans. Excuse me. Like, you have so many options, too many options, to be relying on the Suicide Squad when they have had far more misses than hits. Like, I don't get it. I literally don't get it. Like, WB continuously trying to make them fetch, and it makes me sick because we're getting to a point where they are oversaturated, and it's not appealing. It is just not appealing. You had it right in 2014 in animated form, no less. 2014, Assault on Arkham came out, and I felt like it was a beautiful interpretation of the Suicide Squad as a group and the characters within that group. Because I feel like somehow WB has strayed so far from the original concept of the Suicide Squad, which is, it is a secret black ops group filled with expendable villains that do the government's dirty work. Period. I don't understand how we strayed so far. How did we get from that, which I felt was properly conveyed in the 2014 film, to the 2016 film where you're explaining to me that essentially they're like the last line of defense if the Justice League can't handle a certain threat? What? That's not what they are. That's not what this is. That is not at all what the Suicide Squad is. They are not the last line of defense. They don't deal with Justice League level threats. They're supposed to be a little bit more grounded than that. And they just went off the rails in 2016. I thought it was a hot dumpster fire. But WB does this thing where if an aspect of their property is deemed successful financially, they're going to run with it. And Suicide Squad made like $800 million. So regardless of the fact that it's universally hated for the most part, it made money. And within that, Harley Quinn popped off. People were, drooling over her. They enjoyed Margot Robbie's performance. Me personally, I did like Margot Robbie. I can't speak. I liked Margot Robbie's performance in 2016, but I didn't feel it was something that I needed to see again. I really didn't like her appearance. She looks like expired cotton candy. And even in the anime, they have her with that stupid pink and blue hair while wearing her signature red and black. Those colors don't mix. Stop. And in the live action film, it was just blue and pink all the way through with like a splash of red. And the outfit itself was just not even realistic. It was clearly created for the male gaze, right? So all of that happens. Harley Quinn's popping off. So they ram her into the spotlight. And the Suicide Squad also gets rammed into the spotlight. Not so much in like live action until like 2021. But within animated stuff, within comics, hell yeah. Harley Quinn in particular, she went to do Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. Idiots. Placing her in an environment that does not make sense. She has little affiliation with the Birds of Prey. Why would you not put her with the Gotham Sirens, where she is a frontrunner? She is a group member in the Gotham Sirens. Flop that. Okay, great. So you go from that film, which didn't really get a lot of buzz, didn't really make money. It was just like panned. Then we go from there. And then we go to the Harley Quinn show. I thought the first season was cool. Second season, first half was cool. Didn't like the second half. Didn't like the first 3 episodes of season 3. And I haven't really picked it up from there. Not really for me. In the background of that, I want to say there was an animated Suicide Squad film. There were 2. It was Hell to Pay, and there was something else. And I can't remember what it was. I cannot remember what it was. But then in 2021, we get James Gunn's Suicide Squad. And that in itself just felt like desperation on WB's part, because it's just clear that they wanted their own Guardians of the Galaxy. And I how do you not understand your own property to know that the Suicide Squad, they're not that. They're not Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's okay. That is A-okay. The same way that for Marvel, the Thunderbolts, they're not the Suicide Squad. I'm going to move on from that. So we had that movie come out. At that point, the DC brand, as far as movies go, it was so tainted that people were just not even really messing with it. Plus the pandemic, it just did not do well. They didn't look at all these losses and say, all right, maybe we should put a pause on this group of heroes for a little bit and focus on other people, other heroes and villains within our universe. They didn't look at that and say, let's take a pause. No. They said, no, let's keep going. Let's keep going. And now we're at this point where we have a Peacemaker show. We have an Amanda Waller show coming out for the DCU. And now we have this anime that's come out this year. This is utterly ridiculous. How has the Suicide Squad had more projects than fucking Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman. Live action. 3 projects. The Linda Carter show, the 2017 movie, and the abysmal sequel that came out in, what was that, 2021? And then animated wise, she's had 2 projects from my knowledge. Please let me know if there's another. I don't think there is. The first one came out in 2008 or 2009, and the second one came out 10 years later in 2018. That's a joke. Suicide Squad at this point has had more projects across all variations than The Flash, than Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Teen Titans, Nightwing. Like, these are some of, like, okay, Martian Manhunter. I mean, I like him. I wouldn't say he's a heavy hitter, but these are some of your more popular DC heroes, and they just have not gotten the love and care that the Suicide Squad has gotten. So funny. Forgot to mention the video game, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. I'll keep this short and simple because the title alone, it just does not make for a great premise, especially when you decide to keep the same roster of characters. It's one thing if this Suicide Squad had more heavy hitters, right? But no. You're keeping the same Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, King Shark, Deadshot. You're keeping these same folks, and you expect me to believe that somehow they're victorious in taking on and killing the Justice League. Okay, great. The premise, to me, horrid. I've heard the game is not good. And within the game, Harley Quinn kills the Batman. And I think that was Kevin Conroy's one of his last vocal performances. So that's great. Like, I love that for WB. You really did a great job with that. The optics, fantastic. Mwah. Like, Oh my God. They really made a whole video game based around them. Like, y'all. But we still don't have a Wonder Woman game. we still don't have like a Teen Titans AAA game. Y'all. We don't have like a Justice League Dark type game. Okay. And it's utterly ridiculous that we're at this point. Like, DC, stop. It's not working. It is just not working. And that is okay. Like, we need a pause. We need a really long pause. And I don't think they're getting the memo. I really don't. And it's just like, I'm just so over it. I'm absolutely over it. I just can't. It's kind of like the same way I feel about Batman right now in the animated sphere. It's just completely oversaturated, and I just don't want to deal with it. Like, I don't want to deal. No thanks. I think that's it though. I don't have anything else to say, so I'm gonna end it here. If I think of anything else, I'll add it in post, but that's all, folks. Good night, and thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.